Oh my god. Oh my god. We're gonna die. We're gonna die. Hey guys, what's going on? And as always, we're gonna try to start off the episode with some questions. If we see good ones, we might get 3 or 4 here. We might get none for one episode. If you do have a law enforcement related question, if you do want to kind of, I guess, fact check like some of these cop baiter websites, feel free to leave it in the comments below. I'll get to it when I can. I might miss it, so don't hesitate to re-ask it. We got 3 today. Kyle Lasky is asking, my question is, all the time, even when you did 5M online, when you search a car, you would search a trunk. Here in Illinois, police are not allowed to search a trunk without permission. They're only allowed to search any container within the container via glove box inside the car, but the trunk and engine compartment are off limits without permission from the driver. So I'll try to cover vehicles and cops get into it in its most shortest essence, right? So this is not a house. Your expectations of privacy are extremely limited, okay? So with that said, the Supreme Court ruling has dictated RAS not deeming typical enough to get through the car and rifle through the car. However, probable cause is 100% enough to get through the car if it's used within the appropriate context. Now, this is the area of gray that you can hit with police work. But if I believe somebody has drugs in the car, if I believe somebody is transporting the car, my training, knowledge, and experience, right? Past experiences, I can search the engine compartment. I can search the trunk. I can search the locked glove box. Like if an individual doesn't want to grant me access, I can even impound the vehicle, have it brought to our lot, and then type up a warrant. There's a certain level of exigent circumstances in terms of evidence being lost of a crime that I've established probable cause for by not doing these things. So now you do hit an area of gray if there is a glove box lock and the driver doesn't want to cooperate to an extent, because you might already be arresting that person. So the difference being is if I stop someone for running a red light and I think that I can go through the entirety of their car, you're dead wrong, right? But if I stop someone for a traffic infraction, I walk up to the vehicle, I detect the odor of narcotics. What's to tell me, and the court recognizes this, what's to tell me if a person has 10 grams or 10 pounds located within the vehicle, right? Now, a police officer, they can clearly detect the odor of marijuana from a burnt and unburnt stance. We're educated on it through the police academy. Like, we've been exposed to CDS, so we know it's odor. We've had classes, so we understand what charboy is typically used for, or tie-offs for arms, or even needles. So with that said, when I call a dog, and the dog does a scan around the car, which is a trained tool that's recognized in court, and I haven't exited the scope of my stop, and the dog indicates to police on scene that there are narcotics in the car, the engine compartment, the trunk, the glove box, hell, even the tires, if I deem necessary, are all something that a police officer can search. That car is mine from head to toe within a reasonable limitation of time until I'm satisfied through the probable cause that was provided to me by the dog. So if that makes sense, that's Supreme Court ruling. Supreme Court ruling dictates any particular. Supreme Court says this is how everything works. If it goes up to that high level of court, if that makes that clear. So now we got Mike. Mike's coming in with a question. What is the parameters when you can frisk someone? I believe he means frisk. It looks like you're just using LSPDFR backup. Not too sure about the statement, but in terms of frisk, we're talking about Terryville, Ohio. Again, this is the same stuff that you guys can look up. It's a Supreme Court ruling in terms of what an officer can do to actually touch someone. Terryville, Ohio is in reference to kind of suspecting that somebody's carrying a firearm. Now, I want you to think of something that is typically 3, maybe 4 times heavier than your cell phone, and that's just an average classification of a pistol, and it's slightly larger, being longer and wider, right? When somebody's carrying that item, there's certain things that police officers pick up on. Somebody's gait might be different, gait reference to the style of walk or the demeanor. People will also like often do like a double tap. Like they'll tap to make sure it's still there, because subconsciously it's either something that they don't typically carry, shouldn't be carrying, or want to make sure they're maintaining if they're lawfully concealed carrying, right? There's a subconscious tick in us that we don't even realize. It could be anything from a bulge in a clothes to blading away from an officer, and just like, because if you're like in an encounter, a close encounter, even if it's a mere cost with a police officer, and you're illegally carrying a firearm, illegally concealing a firearm, um, psychologically you're going to be in a war with yourself to try to not, like, in your head you're going to be like, oh my god, he sees it, I know he sees it, he's gonna find it, oh god, I know he's gonna find it, he's looking right now, like that mentality will take place. So just from blading away or acting awkward, bulges in the clothes, real nervous demeanor through contact, but I'm not detecting any type of odor or drugs, that really puts you at a proper stage, without even talking about like a geographical area. Maybe you're in a high crime area. That puts you in a pretty good stage as a police officer to get your hands on someone and make sure they don't have something that's just readily available to kill you. And then last we got Ninja E. Question, Finn. When you use your suave, calm demeanor, thank you, has that more often than not elicited a mirror response from the perps IRL? Kind of like reverse psychology or monkey see, monkey do? Yes. I could have been in a whole lot more foot chases, whole lot more fights, whole lot more everything in terms of violence in my life. Now, if you're an officer out there and you think that you're the type that you can talk anybody out of anything, you're going to get shot. You're going to get shot. However, I do understand and firmly believe that verbal judo is a thing. So the calm demeanor, so literally here's the secret. And I started to really understand this after years on the job, and understand it once I had kids of age that actually yell at me and stuff. You have to talk to them like they're kids. You know what I mean? Especially if they're under the influence of something, some type of narcotic or something like that. I typically have the best approach. Like, rather than be like, man, I done told you right now, you're going, now maybe your parenting style's different than mine. Like, I done told you right now, you're going to turn away and put your hands behind your back. And it's like, nah. So like, you're just telling them what to do. But let's give it to them like they're a child. Hey man, look, right now you're not in any trouble. I'm going to detain you, but I need you to face away from me. You know what I mean? Like, these things come off just as easy as they go on. If they don't go on too easy, they do not come off very easy. So just saying something like that and giving someone not the whole day, like don't give them an external like amount of time to process what's going on, right? You still want to keep things moving. But when you lay out, hey, you're not currently in any recourse, like, just turn around and do this, even if it's a lie, even if you know that dude's going to jail. I'm allowed to lie to you to achieve my goal. I'm not allowed to coerce you into something, but I am allowed to feed you fictitious facts. I'm allowed to make some type of not so area of truthful statement to achieve a goal. And if that means doing that without having any type of altercation, you best believe I will. I'm going home at the end of the day. But I mean, that concludes the 3 questions that we had. Sorry, I fiddle-faddled with some of the words, or the names possibly. I'll put the comments up in the top right as we went through it, so you could actually read it yourself, in case I'm still waking up and having my morning coffee. But let's get out there and patrol.
Target license plate 07 Queen Henry Hall 347. A traffic violation. A traffic felony.
There we go.
Proceed with caution.
There. This is odd. I'm gonna recant the best I can, see if I can just keep traffic moving. Now I can't get out of my car. Time it. Why did I got my flashlight out? We're doing passenger side approach so we're not squeezed over there.
Hello. You got ID?
Alright, so Crystal Williams, I believe, was the suspended driver of the vehicle. I'm gonna order him out of the vehicle. Sorry about your door, man. We got some things we need to talk about.
Hold it!
I'm gonna have her follow me over here just so we're out of the roadway. I hate how they try to go behind you. Stop following me. Sit tight right there for me. We're gonna go do our check. Oh my god. We'll just double check. What is this asshole doing? Alright, yeah, so we're going to be getting a tow for the vehicle, and she's going to be getting a citation.
Oh my god!
Now, being suspended, it depends where you are. Like, operating a motor vehicle under suspension is a arrestable offense for a lot of states. Like, for some of them, it's a must-appear offense, but they don't go to jail. I mean, you have to actually literally, like, see a, there was no registration on the vehicle. She has no license at this time because technically she falls under a category not being privileged to drive. I think that's it for that category because I can't remember where they put stuff. Driving while suspended or revoked.
Citizens report.
We're gonna seize the vehicle and create the citation. Vehicle's parked in a bad spot. I'm not gonna let her operate the vehicle. Woo! Woo! We're not available for calls. All right, so she is going to get issued citation. Boom. Don't go back to the car. We're gonna have the vehicle towed. See, this is a primary example. This is a vehicle we cannot search unless I smell them drugs or something like that.
Assistance needed in
So,
Rockford Hills.
the fact that I'm towing the vehicle, there was it's kind of a weird loophole. It's not to really say it's abusive, but the inventory of the vehicle should be conducted if she has anything of value in there. It's kind of to protect us as police. You know what I mean? I'm gonna tell her that she's good to go on foot.
Get out of my sight!
And we got one of them.
Hey there, stranger!
I wish these dudes would go. They got really blocking me from getting in my vehicle. But yeah, she'll have something that she has to go to court now for. She'll get something in the mail. It's a must-appear infraction. And then the vehicle, like I said, because of its placement, will be no bueno in terms of... I mean, I probably would, if it was real, I probably would have worked with her to like try to get a friend down there. You know what I'm saying? But beyond that, like, I'm not gonna sit there all day because that's where she chose to pull over. She pulled over in a really bad spot. Case in point, if you're suspended AF and you know it, go ahead and park it in a good spot. Don't act like you're gonna run. You know what I mean? But like, go ahead, go on down the block a little bit and try to get you a better spot.
Attention all units. We've got a disturbance, black scene.
So we'll try to pop a UE here. And we'll hook this right. We still got those blimps from earlier where the computer did not make the full arrest. That wasn't my call. I'm not taking it. So we got a drunk dude somewhere around here. Most likely, at the minimum, we have a disorderly. There's someone's peace enough to where we have to show up. So if I got a drunken disorder like this, like all I'm gonna do is show up. I mean, he's got a stagger to him, but we could work on a mirror cost.
Yeah, that's the barrio. Wait a minute!
Like we can ask him for ID. He's got a real breathe. Like it's not like he's passed out drunk. Like, he's still functional. He might be on his way home just walking. Like, dude's being responsible and shit. You know what I mean? Oh, shit, it's Elon. Yeah, he's valid. Nothing wrong with this dude. Like, maybe he's drinking because he's a clown. You know what I mean? Like, is that a profession you want to go home to? Like, hey, Dad, I got the job. What job did you get, son? I'm a clown. Like, you know what I mean? Like, is that something you go to, like, tell people at parties and stuff? You know what I mean? We'll, actually, I think we're going to get this dude a taxi just to kind of help him get home. And he's a clown. He's already had a hard enough life. Here comes his taxi. Sometimes when the taxis pull off, they drive, like, very slow. Yeah, listen to his shoes. There we go.
All units, we have a 148 on Howard Avenue. Shots fired. All units respond code 99.
Dispatch, we got a visual on the perp in pursuit. Dispatch, we got a visual on the perp.
So we'll try to play this more realistic. The problem is, right, is that it's so hard to get up to perps.
Attention all units, we have
because
units
how they
requesting
drive.
air support. Over.
Like, if we're trying to clear this intersection proper, like this is how it would go.
We are en route. Air
This is
support
how,
en route.
literally, this is how it would go. Like, that's a pretty appropriate
This is Eagle 6.
intersection
Suspect is
clear.
heading west.
But if I did that, we would absolutely never catch up to the individual, most likely. Like, same thing here. We'll do another appropriate intersection clearing. Intersection good. And it's not a requirement, but you want to change tones as you approach an intersection. As audio creep happens to people, they don't really perceive change. Like, so you could sneak up on someone essentially. See, like, here, we're going to clear this right. And then we would yield for this dude. Never. Okay. All right. Jesus Christ. But, you know, you change your audio tones. I remember one time, like, I was watching, like, a Family RP, and some, like, person that wasn't even a cop was like, change your audio tones, it's mandatory. And the one dude was, like, being trained on it. He's like, why? And he just did not have an answer. He's like, because that's what I was told. So we'll probably try to get some more local response out of here.
Backup required in Pillbox Hill.
Dispatch, we got
But I
eyes on
realized
the target.
how,
Moving to engage.
I realized how, I guess, kind of unrealistic we were playing. And you have to a certain extent, just from the game mechanics. But we'll try to find that median. Like this intersection, he blew through it. Traffic should be stopped, but that's still a risk. Same thing with this one. This one is a risk. That is a stagnant intersection. Same here. Very nasty. Okay. See how far away this guy's getting ahead of us just because we're trying to employ like a little bit of a realistic response. Now, if the intersection's on lock, meaning if you get to trail in behind other... What are these guys doing? No. If you trail in behind other units, like if this guy clears this intersection, okay, chances are good that I'm good to go through there with him without being subjected to, like, dying. We're going to try to overtake him. That's a freaking no-no right there. The intersections aren't too bad in terms of clearing. Four ways are horrible, especially with low visibility. But you got to keep in mind, like half the time when I think I'm dealing with a drunk that I'm behind, like on the highway, if I'm like bebopping around or like inside on the outskirts of the city, like I find that they're just texting on their phone. Like, it is such a huge distractionary device. So we are going to bump it up a little bit. You can see how far ahead the helicopter is. Like we're never going to catch up to the pursuit.
Assistance required in East Vinewood.
Every cop has been starting to, and I don't try not to throw all the police on them right away.
I see the perp. We're in pursuit.
But like, if this is a shots fired call, you best believe people are going. Okay, looks like somehow we snuck the primary. He's got a nice little car. Oh man, he almost hit somebody already. Luckily, like the vehicles in Grand Theft Auto 5, they come pretty arcadey, like handling mode. Like a lot of the AI will stop in time in terms of hitting you.
It's been way too long.
Oh my god! Oh my god! We're gonna die. We're gonna die. Oh come on, man! We're gonna give them front spots if that's what he thinks they want. You guys go ahead. You guys are doing great at hitting me. There's only a certain amount that the LSPDFR guys can do in terms of overtaking the AI behavior. You know what I mean?
Assistance needed in Rockford Hill.
Looks like he's going for the pit.
Dispatch, we got eyes. We're in pursuit. Next to 13. We're at the little coffee shop around the corner.
Guys! Okay, you do your thing. There's a second person. Holy shit!
You degenerate.
What is that cop doing?
I shoot you, I save myself a lot of paper. Garbage!
That's bullshit.
You're done running. Shoot this asshole! You're under arrest,
I'm worried about my line at this point. We'll just kind of back him up.
Let's go! I'm arrested.
Jesus. Alright, we were just helping with that. We're clearing out. We're clearing out. You guys have a good time. I don't feel like we got the right loadout. Let me fix that real quick in terms of weapons. I love this train. This is the train I've like always used. Let's see. It has so many options. It's something you got to get familiar with. You guys go do your. I'm getting out of here. Oh, I hit my car. Man. God damn it! Watch out! I'm backing up. Thanks for hitting my car, asshole.